You're listening to the Impact Implosion on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
It is May 17th, 2016, and it is another episode of the Impact Implosion here on the AngryMarks Podcast Network. I am Seth Drake, and on the other end is the tin can of string, is the will to my low, Mr. Mike Poland.
God. We'll get into that, but we got some stuff to talk about before.
Yeah.
Some news items to talk about.
Tigre Uno re-signed with the company.
Yeah, good for him. There might not be a company after a while, but...
I know. You've already told
me
that.
We'll get to that in a minute.
The rumors...
I wanted to bring up TNA's post-Slammiversary tapings. They released those. It's going to be June 13th to TV. June 14th is going to be live, so... And then June 15th is also a TV.
So, wait, when is Slammiversary?
That would be June 12th.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which is what they did a promo hyping it tonight, so.
Okay, good. I was about to say, what the hell?
June 13th is what I mentioned, as I was talking to you about, is that they're doing a TV taping, and then the 14th they're doing a live show. Unless they're doing Explosion and, like, a one night only, I don't think that makes much sense.
I think that's what apparently they're going to do, is it's one night only. Okay,
that makes more sense than doing a TV one night and then doing a live show the next. That would fuck up storylines.
Yeah, it would.
But then again, it's TNA. So
it's TNA. Know. They don't give a shit.
And speaking of that, they might not have a network by the end of the year again.
Because
it's that time of year I'm going to talk about that.
Yeah, the Pop TV schedule has somewhat come out. Impact is not on it right now. Now, that could be they haven't planned yet or signed off on it yet, but...
Well, the show's Impact ratings aren't exactly great. If you're Pop TV...
They're like 0.2.
You look at that, would you re-sign them?
No, they're like 0.2 right now.
Ugh.
Yeah, they're bad.
Especially after this week's show.
Yeah, this is not going to help either. Let's also talk about the fact that one of their former superstars, King Mo, lost. Lost at Bellator. Lost to Phil Davis, unanimous decision.
Is that the guy that used to wrestle on FIP? Or is that different Phil Davis?
No, he never wrestled. He was the MMA guy they brought in for a couple shows. Not to wrestle ever, but...
Phil Davis, not King Mo.
Oh, Phil Davis, I have no idea who Phil Davis is. Just some guy, I don't know.
And he lost to him. That's funny.
Yep, but King Mo would have gotten a title shot if he would have gotten the light heavyweight title shot, so he lost that.
Yeah. Fascinating stuff.
And he was also talking about it moving up to heavyweight, but that ain't happening.
Talk about an investment TNA was lucky they didn't keep.
Oh, yeah. Well, since they're no longer on Spike.
Yeah. And see.
Let's see. What else crazy shit could be happening? Oh, TNA's behind on paying their workers again.
You don't say.
I do say. They're behind.
Isn't that why Bobby Roode and Eric Young both left?
I don't know, but Aerolux isn't fixing things.
Aerolux sounds like something to take when you have diarrhea.
I know. And also bad for TNA, they lost their Saturday replay.
I thought we talked about that.
Well, I thought... Oh, we did? Okay.
That happened a couple weeks ago.
Oh, it did? Oh, yeah. No, it happened May 13th.
Don't say
They moved them to Saturday. They moved them to Saturday. We talked about that. that Saturday's gone.
Whoops.
Yep. This is how it ended with. This is how it ended with Destination America. So here we go again.
This time I don't think they'll be getting signed by anybody else. But then again, we say that every year.
We say that every year. They find a way. They're like cockroaches.
Yes, they're resilient.
Oh, yeah.
They need to overthrow Dixie somehow.
Yep.
And that's
they really do.
The company.
Yeah. Well,
I
don't think there's any way to save the company. Rebranding.
And at least getting rid of her might help it a little bit.
There's also going to be a lot rebranding because it's poison. The name.
There's something in the water in that company.
Yeah, so, anyway. Impact.
Think of it being... this show we're going to talk about.
Well, we actually had Galloway and Lashley get into a brawl, despite the fact that
they're trying to keep them apart.
They were going to be
kept apart. They're trying to keep Lashley and... I was going to say, they're trying to keep Lashley and Galloway apart. Let's have them walk down the same hallway.
Yeah. Oh, that's just wonderful. We said we were going to keep them apart. Oh, but they're in the same hallway. We didn't say we'd be good at it. We said we would try. And
they brawl, and a bunch of guys are back there better than TNA security.
And one of them's the one-legged Chris Melendez.
Hey, getting a paycheck. A very small one.
And then we have, a few weeks ago, I think we talked about how Rebel versus Shelly Martinez would be a shoo-in for Golden Turducken. I ain't so sure about that.
First 20 minutes of this show.
Because Willow comes out.
Who the hell was voicing him?
I don't know. Because we have somebody with a crappy voice, like, hey! With an echo.
Was it a woman?
I have no idea.
Somehow Matt Hardy's voice is done by a woman for some reason.
And the funny thing is, this wasn't even the Matt Hardy one. This was another Willow.
Who's worse at this, Willow or Ole Anderson?
I say the person who did this Willow is worse than Ole. So, yes, Willow says he has no fear, no regret. His mind is clear, for he is set free. Comes out calling. I don't have no idea who Shadow Willow is. Really? Shadow?
Shadow?
Is there Gold Willow or freaking Willow?
Purple Willow?
Yeah. So Jeff says the only Willow that exists lives inside of him, and he's about to expose this imposter. Because Willow has a special place in Jeff Hardy's heart. When Jeff needs to go to his dark side, Willow is his escape.
Oh, God.
And then they get into a brawl, and this starts a match for some reason.
That's about 10 seconds long.
I think this lasts less than a minute. Less than a minute, because Matt Hardy beats this guy.
Jeff Hardy
beats this guy. Jeff goes to expose this guy.
And here's another Willow.
Another Willow comes out.
God.
And then the third Willow comes to the ring, and the third Willow is Matt Hardy. Who's going on about, you loved Willow more than you loved me. I'm the reason we both succeeded in our careers. So now I'm going to use your creation to show you, Nero, that you made a mistake. But that mistake wasn't putting me through the table and stuff. The mistake was not finishing me off. You may have
Matt Hardy, you're a terrible actor.
Battered and torn, but I've designed a pathway of destruction. You're going to go to war with me, and we will both go through a bevy of extreme pain, but I will not die. He then picks his brother up and chokes him out. And Matt says, everything comes to an end, even to the indestructible Jeff Hardy. Yes, that's my annoying Matt Hardy voice for all of those wondering. Because seriously,
oh Lord,
that was annoying. let me just say this. During this whole Willow stuff, I swore to God I was doing the airplane stuff. Really shouldn't have stopped drinking today. Really shouldn't have stopped doing crystal meth today. I really shouldn't have stopped sniffing glue.
And you think WWE's creative is bad.
Yeah. WWE's creative is boring and shit, but this is just
stupid. This isn't even as bad as half the shit we saw in the mid-90s.
I was also saying, we're all stars now in the Dope Show. I am the waffle maker. I have a brand new combine harvester, and I'll give you the keys.
Yeah.
And the crowd is like, what the hell? What the hell, Matt? Or what the hell?
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
I would like a better question. What the hell is wrong with all of you, TNA? That you would
What the hell is wrong with the Hardy family?
That you would even get this and not immediately go to Jeff and Matt and go, are you serious with this shit?
Somebody just goes,
Billy
Corgan just goes up to him and goes, no.
No. This is stupid. This is more than stupid. This is inane.
Luckily they can't lose any more money than they got.
God damn. Like, army of fucking Willows here.
Unfortunately, I don't think the show's going to get much better.
No, but this is the lowest point. This is the lowest point.
This is where you give the show an F without even watching the rest of it.
Yeah, this is where you just go, I'm done. This.
Turn it off.
Turn it off. What the
I cannot do this.
Yes. This was one match, and this was like 30 minutes or something of this shit. I even had this worse than Grado, Al Snow, and Mahabali Shera. This was worse than that. This is worse than that crap. Now, not as bad as Rebel versus Shelly Martinez, although it could be argued. Yeah, I was just completely... After this, you just go, what else? Can we just cancel them right here? After this, I'd be like...
We need Cyrus to sell them sell the contract of the network to WWE.
Yeah. Couldn't you just take this shit, please? Just take it. Just take it, please.
Take it off the air.
Take it, yeah. We're up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. Not that stupid show, but real Schitt's Creek.
And it's not flushing.
No.
It's just clogging.
Yes.
It's clogging the TV screen.
Oh. Oh God.
What's
next? Velvet Sky meets Allie, and what the hell did they do to Cherry Bomb?
They made her Maria's apprentice.
They made her into a ditzy Tiffany from ECW. If you would notice, I thought they brought back Taryn Terrell. Because that was who she was in WWE. Oh, God. Put her in glasses and stuff and just say, oh, hi there. Yeah. I'm just like,
good Lord.
What have they done to you, Cherry Bomb? You used to be awesome. Why would you agree to this?
Another situation where she should look at the angle and just go, no.
No, I'm not signing this. Sorry. Not signing
Sienna should have done the same thing.
Yeah. Well,
no.
Sienna actually is made to look like a badass, kind of, until this match. But yeah, Allie tells Velvet Sky that she is facing Fiona, and yeah, if you lose tonight, you're fired.
You're
fired.
Thanks for giving that one away.
So then Dixie Carter says, after the backstage stuff, we are going to do a lumberjack match tonight. And I am like,
oh God. Yeah.
If you could not did not hear that, that was me hitting myself in the face with my hand. That was me face palming. Because seriously, this is a world title lumberjack match. Little Karibo's favorite match, because you see people on the outside doing fuck all.
Get that paycheck.
Getting a paycheck while causing a disqualification, which is what I'll get interfering, because that's always happened. And not doing
every Lumberjack match ever.
Yeah, not doing their job of, keeping them in the ring. So, time for Sienna's first match on Impact. And yes,
this is the first match.
They already called this Willow plus the Black Scorpion equals the 2016 Cooker Award nominee.
Mm.
Yes, this was the Black Scorpion of TNA.
Mm.
So,
which is why I made the Ole Anderson reference earlier.
This match between Velvet and Sienna, I understand this is Velvet's last match, but you're supposed to make Sienna look good. You gave Velvet way too much offense and made Sienna look like crap. Seriously, she's
probably going to be your next Knockouts champion.
She just dominated Gail Kim and Jade. And she has freaking problems with Velvet Sky. Do you not understand
the same thing with Havoc?
Yeah.
They did the same thing with Havoc.
I know. Did you... well, they did that with Madison Rayne, actually. I think it was it was Madison Rayne. But, no, it wasn't Madison Rayne. I forget who it was.
It was Havoc.
It was? No, I meant...
No, they brought Havoc in, had her go through all the knockouts, and then her first title match was with Velvet Sky, and she had problems beating her.
I know. Oh, yeah, it was Velvet Sky.
That should not happen.
This is just stupid. Velvet is
Bad
gone.
Booking.
You make Velvet supposed to make the superstar look good on the way out. She didn't. She made Sienna beat her, but you chopped Sienna down some already.
Ooh. Bad booking.
Just terrible booking. I'm already in a bad mood after this, but at least we get some good moments in a beautiful mansion with Mike Bennett and Maria, which is basically just to show Maria's ass. Which I'm okay with.
Hey,
and even Mike Bennett.
Hey, there's no problem with that.
Yeah, and Mike, the best part, when Maria's going back into the pool, Mike Bennett looks at the camera, tilts his glasses, and smiles like, yeah, you know. But all this, and EC3's response was great. I'm 100% certain children pee in that public pool.
Not the one that Ted DiBiase rented out years ago.
and Maria, not missing a beat, says, that's how I keep my... I guess I'm wondering why my hair is so shiny.
Not a good sign.
No, but she sees me in the ditz and said, hey, it keeps my hair shiny.
Oh, Maria, we love you.
Yeah, we love you, Maria. But anyway, yeah, this was pretty good. Basically talking about EC3's Road to Redemption, that they could have done this over again, but we're not going to do that.
No, we're going to have Mike Bennett beat up a referee for no reason.
Oh, no, next is Josh saying it was a great call for Dixie to make our world title match a Lumberjack match. And I'm like,
shut up, Josh.
Really? So it's time for a Miracle promo. And he talks about how Nathan needs this Road to Redemption. I could just beat him, and what would that accomplish? Same shit would happen. So I'm a future Hall of Famer, so I need to call out a current Hall of Famer. And there's only one Hall of Famer left on the roster.
Earl Hebner.
And Earl's looking at him.
Didn't we do this at one point, too?
Yes. But to remember, EC3 had power. And his aunt, when she was a heel.
And Mike Bennett
doesn't have any of that. But he's able to get Earl to push him, and for some reason, after Mike says ring the bell, Stifler decides to ring the bell. You're like, what?
Because
he didn't tell him to ring the bell. He didn't tell him to, but Stifler rings the bell.
Ring that damn bell.
And Josh is even like, why'd you ring the bell? And then
pressure.
And oh dear God, Mike Bennett punches Earl Hebner and can't beat him. He kicks out at him. Seriously.
Oh, wait a minute. Mike Bennett look good.
Even better, it's low blow, right in front of the ref, no disqualification. Maria's like, what are you doing? So Earl takes his shirt off, and Bennett, I think, hits his finisher. I don't know what he hit.
He just rings the bell for no reason.
No, I'm talking about Mike Bennett. What did he do to Earl Hebner to finish him off here?
I don't.
I gotta look this up. Because seriously.
Did he just clothesline him?
I'm gonna look. I remember yes. I'm gonna look at this because really, what the hell?
I know Bennett went for a pile driver when EC3 came out.
Yeah. Okay, what happened? He hit him with a big boot.
Super kick.
Yeah, big boot, and pins him. And Urge to Kill is rising at this point. So EC3 has to save Earl Hebner here. And I'm like, can we cut this episode off? But no. Mike Bennett says it's time for match 2 of EC3's Road to Redemption, and it is against Tyrus in a last man standing match.
Ugh.
You know, this and the Spud match should have been flipped.
Yes.
But I guess they're going to try to say Tyrus was a harder opponent to EC Spud with a throwaway.
Put the giant beast in a cage with EC3
because Spud cost EC3 in a cage match, and Spud
Tyrus cost him in a last man standing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
then
we have the best part. Tyrus has trouble putting the chair into the turnbuckle, and Josh says Tyrus has a history with having trouble setting steel chairs on the turnbuckle. That was a line that was actually said.
When?
When he was having trouble with the steel chair into the turnbuckle.
No, I mean, when have he had trouble doing that other than now?
He's had it a few times, but yeah.
Oh God.
Way to bury Tyrus. But there was this
Tyrus
match.
is a bumbling fool.
He's a bumbling fool. He doesn't know how to set the chair into the turnbuckle correctly. He has issues with this. So,
God.
There's a good spot, which should have probably been the match over, which Tyrus got powerbombed into a table. But no, Tyrus hulks out of this at 8. He just gets up and goes, and I'm like,
you're not Hogan, Tyrus. You're about 100 pounds heavier.
So, seriously, Tyrus so Tyrus hits his finisher on the stage.
The big ending.
The big ending thing, and that gets a 9. And then EC3 picks up Tyrus. Samoan drops him because Tyrus decided, you know what?
On the
I'm going
guardrail.
to grab this guardrail. I'm going to place it here. Just so EC3 can...
Nothing could possibly go wrong.
Yeah, just so EC3 can Samoan drop me on this. And then EC3... That's not enough. That's not enough to beat Tyrus here. We got to make Tyrus look strong. So EC3's got to pin Tyrus under some steps, hit him with a few times with a steel chair, and put my leg on it.
He'll certainly not get up now.
Just so he can get the 10 count.
Are
you fucking kidding me? You are trying to help EC3 here. You're not helping him. So then, montage to hype up Franklin with him working out and stuff. And then we got to go back to Jeff Hardy. He's like, I can't believe I can't believe he still wants more. I beat him in his own... He wanted that match. Well, I guess I'll have to end him. This will end at Slammiversary. So then, we finally get a match that probably was the best match of the night. Eddie Edwards and DJZ versus Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett.
The Helms Dynasty.
This was an okay match, but one question... Can you tell me what the hell DJZ was wearing?
Nope.
That was some face guard looking thing. It's like, what the hell?
He's been hanging out with Virgil.
I know. He's got like a freaking, not like that, not that face guard, but he's got some like goalie looking face guard or fencing face guard, whatever the hell it is. It looks stupid on him. So
in any event, this is setting up for the Ultimate X next week.
This was pretty good. DJZ, won with a jumping DDT.
Yep.
To pick up the win on Andrew Everett, which I'm fine with. This was actually pretty good, and then we get news that there's another Eli Drake Fact of Life segment coming up.
Eli Drake.
But before that, we've got Drew Galloway montage, and like the Franklin segment, it was good. But then we got Eli Drake has an announcer now.
Is it not just himself?
No, it's not. I guess it's supposed to be him, but he's like with the Eli Drake, with the greatest host ever, Eli Drake.
Oh God, he's turning into Jay Leno.
So Eli Drake comes out. And, of course, he has the dummy yeah button. Dummy, yeah. Dummy, yeah. Dummy, yeah. Although, thankfully, he did this only
a couple times this week.
4 times. And he never did it with
Bram.
We
won't hear it in our nightmares like the last time.
He never did it with Bram. Because Bram just comes out, and they just talk. They don't do the dummy thing. They just decide, you know what? And he calls Bram FBI's newest favorite, the future former King of the Mountain title, and FBI's most wanted wannabe, Bram. And Bram says, I'm not stupid. I know you're playing games, but your briefcase is dangerous. Your deep briefcase may be dangerous, but you're not. Okay, he hit the 4th button here after that. He says, I am the most dangerous man in your world. But I'm here to make a deal. We can do this.
Hand me over the belt.
Just hand me over the belt. We can save the me beating you and stuff. And Bram's like, you know what? I could just rip your bloody throat out right here, right now. And Drake's like, well, show's over.
I'm going home.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving now. And then Bram's like, hey, get back here. But he doesn't hit the button because Bram even thinks that's stupid. He just pushes the thing over and he says, you know what, why don't you hit, you got no bloody testicles. And Drake's like, I'm going to cash this in, but not tonight. So he leaves, Bram chases him, they fight, Bram goes for the brighter side of suffering, but Drake escapes.
Bram's the face.
Yes. You know what? I'm fine with this. This was actually pretty good. I'm not going to hate on this.
No, this is good.
Because they actually did good things with the talk show. The problem is, this talk show would be fine if it wasn't for the fucking button.
Dummy, yeah.
No, that button is going to... So, EC3's like, yeah, you didn't think I could beat Tyrus, did you? Well, I'm done. Let's fight. Right now, and EC3's like, you got one more test. You got one more road left. Next week, you got to beat Matt Hardy. But you got to pin or submit him.
Yep.
So, time for Franklin
hasn't done that before.
Galloway in Little Karibo's favorite match, a Lumberjack match.
All these guys just around ringside doing nothing for 10 minutes.
And this would have been decent. This actually was pretty good. It was getting too interesting. And then the outside guys decide to cause a disqualification. Because of freaking force. They did.
Well, that, and they're also building up the title match for Slammiversary. They can't do the clean finish here.
And I was going to give this an F. But then Eddie Edwards decided to do some extra credit and suplex Andrew Everett onto a sea of bodies on the outside. Onto everyone on the outside. I give that credit. I have not seen that before. It's pretty neat.
I don't know if I've seen that on a mainstream show. I'm pretty sure I've seen that in
maybe on an indie show, but I've never seen it on a mainstream show. Interesting.
Yeah.
I've never thought I'd ever see that, or I want to see it, but I saw it. Pretty good. I give you a D because Eddie Edwards saved your freaking bacon, TNA, because it was a borderline F.
And next week is May Mayhem. Terrible names.
Terrible names all over. But TNA does get extra credit. I mean, no, Eddie Edwards gets extra credit. TNA don't get anything.
They get to go to summer school.
Yeah. Eddie Edwards decided, you know what? I'm going to do something interesting.
I'm going to suplex this guy into 20 other guys.
Yeah. And then there was more chaos, which ended up with Drew Galloway standing over tall.
Yay!
I was like, you know what? I'm not going to give this an F. It was a borderline F to begin with, but I'm going to give it a D. I'm going to be fair.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So, that's fine. I'll give you credit if the credit's due. So, that's all for Impact. Do you have anything to sell?
Not this week.
And
You?
I have nothing to sell this week either. So, Miley, we are heading to bed.
Until next week.
See you then.